Okay, class. Hey, welcome back. Today, we're going to continue our discussion on solubility and dealing with different ways to measure solubility. Though we can use the terms concentrate and dilute to describe a solution's solubility level, sometimes this broad terminology will need to be switched out to something more specific. The way we specifically describe a solution's composition is by mass percentage. The mass percent is the expression of mass of a solute present in a given mass of a solution. This video is going to be completely math oriented, so let's go ahead and dive into this. So to solve for mass percent problems, you will need to first know the formula. So here it is. Mass percent equals the mass of the solute in grams divided by the total mass of the solution in grams. We then need to take this answer and multiply it by 100%. Before we can walk through some practice problems, I want you to notice that we are dividing the total mass of the solution. That means the mass of the solute plus the mass of the solvent. We also need to understand that mass is always going to be in grams. Sometimes we're going to be given kilograms, and in order to solve for these types of problems, we're going to have to convert that down to grams. So with this knowledge, let's work out our first practice problem. Suppose we create a solution by dissolving 5 grams of sodium chloride in 45 grams of water. What is the mass percent of the solute added? So we start off by identifying our solute and solvent. Our sodium chloride or salt is what is being dissolved, and so that's going to be your solute, while our water is doing the dissolving, so that's going to be your solvent. Now with this knowledge, we can start plugging in numbers into our formula. We have 5 grams of sodium chloride, which is our solute, so it is going to go on top here. We need to fill out our total solutions portion now. This means we need to add our 5 grams of sodium chloride plus our 45 grams of water together, and we're going to get 50 grams of solution. Now that we have both those portions filled out, we can divide our 5 grams of solute by our 50 grams of solution, and we get 0.10. Our last step is to make this a percentage by multiplying the decimal number by 100%. Once we do this, we get 10%. This means 10% of our mass of our solution is sodium chloride. Now that we have seen one problem solved, let's work another. If I mix 2.5 grams of ethanol in 100 grams of water, what is the mass percent of my solute? So, to start this, I realized that the smaller portion is what's going to be dissolved. That's my ethanol, and the larger portion is going to be doing the dissolving, so that's my water. This means the ethanol is the solute, and the water is the solvent. So our 2.5 grams of ethanol is going to go on both these places in our formula. Then we have 100 grams of water, and that's going to go here. So to get the total mass of our solution, we are going to add 2.5 plus 100 together to get 102.5 grams of total solution. Now that we know this, we can divide our mass of our solute by our total mass of our solution. So 2.5 grams of solute divided by 102.5 grams of solution. This gives us 0.024. Our next step is to multiply that decimal number by 100, and that gives us a mass percent of 2.4%. Okay, so now we've seen a couple problems worked out. They seem pretty straightforward. But I want y'all to know sometimes we're going to have to work backwards on problems and calculate the mass of a solvent when given a percentage. So let's work this one out. If we know that milk contains 5% by mass of lactose, and we need to calculate the mass of lactose within 200 grams of milk, we would do the following. First, we would look at our mass percent formula. We can fill out the formula with our knowns so that we have our total mass of the solution is 200 grams and our mass percent is 5%. Now we need to rearrange the formula to isolate our unknown. Our unknown is our grams of solute, so we need to isolate that by itself in this formula. The first step of isolating our solute is that we need to get rid of the 100% on the left side of the formula. We undo the multiplication of 100% by dividing both sides by 100%. This now gives us the mass of the solute divided by 200 grams equals 5% divided by 100%. Now we need to undo the 200 grams on the left side of the formula. We do this by multiplying both sides by 200, where this gives us our new formula of mass of solute equals 5% divided by 100% times 200. 5% divided by 100% is 0.05. Then we multiply that by 200 and get our mass of our solute, which is 10 grams. So the answer to this question would be that there is 10 grams of lactose in 200 grams of milk. Okay, class, that should be enough to start you on the mass percentile problems. Remember to first start out with the formula, fill out what you know, and then use those knowns to solve for your unknown. I hope this helped you out. Keep up the good work, and we'll see you next time.